So I got another job. This one I had to drive up to Greensboro to get the truck. I don't mind. And, you know, it's weird. At one time, I used to kind of like not like doing this because they put wear and tear on the car. But then it's like, now I'm getting $26 an hour. Like, I jumped through my ass to get jobs like this. And I was told that things would slow down after Christmas and New Year's. And we're more than a week into the new year. And I'm working nonstop. I haven't had a day off yet. I had one day off when I got back from Boone. And every night I've been working. And, you know, people say, well, I take a day off, then this might end. I know this is like Christmas mail shit. People are still late. People are still hanging out. So I'm trying to do as much of this as I can because I know eventually I'm going to have to, this past year, I'm like, all right, I've got other work for you, and it's going to not be as good. I did one other thing that auto LKQ work, which wasn't bad. It was you know, I drove a Pro, so I wasn't too bad. I drove LaGrange and back. I don't like doing that, but I've been working nonstop. And when you're a temp and it's like nonstop and it's 20 plus an hour, that's good. You know, we automatically get 8 hours. That's good. Especially you're 26. So I'm not complaining. I'm not going to say no. Even though I'd like to just fucking, you know, get 2 or 3 days off. I'm able to accomplish my goals. I made a video earlier this evening where I spoke about how I want my message to be pure. My message will remain pure. And how I put up a meme that someone had altered, and it was some vulgarity in it. I look back at it and I regret that. And I know that to some people that might be dumb. There's a guy I follow, you know, that socialist part of me. He talks about like shoplift from your job and capitalism is failing, and I understand that, but I still believe in intention. There's an intention in everything you do, in every breath you take, and every move you make. And I said that, and I mean that I respect Ron Paul. I respect several other people because their message is pure. I mean, look at all the stuff Trump does. I mean, one thing about me, I because I don't follow Western media. See, it's kind of like they say when you're a Christian, you believe in God, like you're not in the world, you're not of it. You're in the world, not of it. When you stop following Western culture and all this stuff, that's what happens. I have to make my money. I have to live. I have to live in this world. But I'm always sitting back. I'm kind of at the back of the crowd. And so I look at America and our warmongering in a different light than most of Americans because I remember the lies. I'm not like a drug addict where the drug dealer can just say something and whatever the drug dealer says, I believe, because you ain't got that kind of black man sitting in front of you. No. That's not how this works. You know? I take you for what you say, true or, you know, whatever. Moving on. So, I watched Graham Elwood. I'm still trying to catch up on the different responses that all my allies have. I went on Euronews. I don't go on there often. I'm really, that's something else. As these things happen with Trump, I am way more interested in what the rest of the world thinks than I am about anybody in America, in our political, none whatsoever. Because I've pretty much lost faith that we're going to stop Trump, that he'll be in, I've lost faith in that completely. That's gone. The Democrats, and it's crazy because, remember I said about how 9/11 and when we went into Iraq and there was no weapons of mass destruction found. And I kept thinking they'd be hearing people would face charges, and it never happened. You just had a bunch of Democrats. I think they were talking about we need to have more body armor for the troops. And isn't that crazy? They were saying that we're pussies and we're liberals and we're commies and we're socialists, but yet the Democrats were like, we're going to do this. Let's protect the troops. Let's, you know, that's a pussy because I want my men to have armored vehicles to suit the job, and I want them to have suitable body armor that makes me. You see, that's the nature of the oppressor, and that's the nature of the soldiers of the oppressor. That they're so brainwashed that even someone that's trying to help them, they hate them. They hate you for that. And there were videos made making mockery of the Democrats and stuff. I mean, I don't try to reason with no soldiers now. I don't. Because it's the same thing. The same cycle's going on. Just like back then, the Democrats played games and no one really questioned Bush. You're getting that with Trump. All you've heard is basically people talking about how he should have consulted them first. This would have been okay if he consulted them first. Are you for real? That's all you've heard. So I've lost faith that there'll be a political solution to Trump. But my message I made earlier, going back to it, where I spoke about my message will remain pure, and everybody around me message will remain pure as well. I had a point. I've been thinking about this for a long time, and I've been scared to put this on social media. And I realized with this assassination of this colonel in Iran, I'm like that guy on ER. I think he got hit by lightning. His heart stopped. When they brought him back, he was like, I'm gay. He's like, he wanted to come out. He wanted to speak because he knew any of us could die at any moment, that the very condition of life, of human frailty, at any moment it could end. Our lifeblood could spill out. I'm like him. I realized that this man is not going to stop, and we could have a war tomorrow or next week or next year. It won't matter, because once you start going that direction, it's hard to pull back from. And this man doesn't even want to pull back from it. So we can go ahead and stop talking about that part of the equation. We have to stick together. I've spoken in the past about how I am not a black supremacist by any means. I stand in solidarity with all the oppressed peoples of the earth. And I mean that. That ain't just rhetoric. We got to stand together. I mean, I don't want to talk about SDS and Weathermen, and I don't want to advocate for violence of any means, but I understand what they were talking about back then. I get it. That these bastards are going to continue warmongering until someone stops them. They don't care how many lives they take. I don't think they even value human life anymore. Or if they ever did. We're going back to that 60s syndrome. We're going back to all of that. I mean, they're trying to... see, the problem with it is this. I spoke earlier about Roland Martin. He's talking about these young people. How they're going to be more Democrats and all that. There'll be a lot less whites. And I think that as far as the urban areas and all, I think we're going to take over. Minorities are going to take over. You may still have a lot of blacks. You may still have a lot of white people, but they won't be in positions of power as they have been in the past. And how they're trying to stack the judges. They're trying to do all that while they can before it's too late to keep the last stranglehold they can on power. Sorry. And they have to do that. I really feel like we've got to have solidarity. We cannot break up into groups. That's how they got us before with COINTELPRO, Malcolm X, Nation of Islam. We can't allow this. We can't allow another decade to go by with the oppressor doing what he's doing. And there's white people. I mentioned Roland Martin. Excuse me. That's my brother. I mentioned David Pakman, Graham Elwood, Jimmy Dore, many others. These are ideologues. These are individuals that are speaking out, but we've status quo. We've got to stand in solidarity with our white brothers and sisters. Because this could get bad. This is going to get bad. This is getting bad now. And I don't want another war in my name. I mean, I'm watching little clips of Fox News where they're talking about Iran should be scared and and we could do something. I mean, this is devilish, diabolical, serial killer type shit. I mean, this is like people who are holding the world hostage talk. It is. That's how I realize that. That's how that Fox News shit sounds. They should be scared we do something else. Like, this is some, like, what? This is some serial killer type talk, boy. I can't think like that, man. I can't think like that. I can't read. That's crazy. This is craziness. This is real craziness. But it's going on. We see it. This is a reality. And they're proud of it. They're on TV talking like this. I was surprised to see Geraldo call them out. I mean, I guess my point is, when did America get to the point where we just start killing people? High ranking. I guess this is a natural, that's what Max Blumenthal said, that with this assassination, this was the natural progression once Trump pulled out of the deal that Obama had set up with the whole world. Now, Iran, the whole world, China, everybody signed on it, and Trump just, well, we're going to pull out of it, which he can't legally do. This was the natural. This is like me saying I'm not going to pay my rent. What's going to happen? I'm going to get evicted, whether it be in a month, 3 months, 6 months, 2 years. The end result is the sheriff coming and putting me out. That's all there is to it, you know, or me not paying my registration or my insurance, or me not paying my light bill. That's the natural progression of such action, is the bill comes due. You know, that eventually you would get this. I just hope the Iranians realize, I mean, and I know it sounds stupid, but I hope they realize that a lot of us don't agree. I mean, I'm really embarrassed to be an American. Like, you know, guys talk about, if you don't like this country, then leave. I would leave in a heartbeat if I could. Tell me where I can go. I would leave in a heartbeat. You know what I mean? And I realize, like, for those guys, nothing America does, they'll ever be ashamed of. So when they say that, that doesn't really mean anything. When they see the flag, they see white supremacy. They don't see a melting pot or anything like that. That's all there is to that. So they don't care. Doesn't mean anything to them. Is that any better? That's a little better. I didn't like that glare. I'm sorry. I was doing something earlier before I started recording in it. Yeah, but I am deeply ashamed. I'm deeply embarrassed of what my country does. I'm ashamed to call myself an American. I don't have no flags on my stuff, man. I mean, the shirt I had with Reliable is the only one I had with a flag on it. I am deeply embarrassed to call myself an American. Deeply embarrassed. And I think that the rest of the world should be calling us out. Should be. France is the only one I see right now that's openly doing so. The British, what they're doing just further shows you they're lackeys of the Americans. You know, woof, woof, woof. Good job, you know. Whether it be going after Assange, they're lackeys of the American government. I read something. The British had put up a satellite many years ago and lost contact with it. JFK had launched some kind of a nuclear testing in the atmosphere of the Earth, and it did so. It's in the 60s. It did so much damage that it messed up the satellite, and they covered it up. They were so embarrassed they covered it up. You know, they're lackeys. And at one time, I guess I thought that was a good thing, and now it's just like they're a joke. They're a complete joke. I wonder if there's some kind of confrontation coming. I mean, let me get over. I wonder if there's some sort of confrontation coming eventually with Europe. Some kind of confrontation coming with Europe and with the rest of the Five Eyes. And I wonder if there's some kind of confrontation coming that results in a problem for the West. It's a genuine concern because Trump is doing so much Kind of like a police officer. You have a cop that's starting trouble and causing problems, and the rest of the cops know it. And, you know, when cops do something, the other one's supposed to follow suit and back each other up. If you got one that's constantly doing things and escalate things and stuff, he's going to cause a problem, and it's going to get the rest of them involved. This isn't a one-man thing. When you call for backup and all that, you're getting all of us involved. You know, that's a fact. That's the fact. So, I don't know. Peace out.